Hey guys. So, if you haven't seen my last video, it was about how my relationship with Ryan became toxic. And so I decided to do this video just to say how I realized and kind of came out of my toxic relationship. So anyway, like I was saying, that he ended up breaking up with me, just saying like, oh, I was a spoiled brat. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I was in so deep and I felt like I could never love him. And I mean, no one can ever love me as much as he can love me and stuff like that, that I couldn't let go of him. And so I tried to manipulate. I tried to try to get him back into my life. But he was done with me. He was just like, I'm done. I stalked him on Facebook. I'm like, I can't believe this is over and everything like that. And I ended up like trying to text him, like trying to talk to me, like, hey, talk to me, hey, talk to me, hey, talk to me. He wouldn't answer me. And I ended up saying, well, I'm pregnant, even though I wasn't. And that's wrong, guys. Don't do that. It never works out. Even if you think that, oh, trapping a guy with a pregnancy will keep the guy, it won't. And it will just make your life a living hell. But thank God I wasn't pregnant. But I told him I was pregnant. I was so crazy and just couldn't see my life without him that I didn't even think of what I was saying. Like, I remember telling him, like, he was like, oh, I'll get enough money to give you for an abortion and stuff like that, but I'm not, like, I don't want to have a kid. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe you say this, or like about our own kid and blah blah blah. And he was just like, oh, I don't want to have a kid. I'm not ready for a kid and things like that. And he has the right to say that, and he did. But I couldn't see that at that moment. I didn't know that I was in so deep and stuff. And so I lied to him, and I was like, oh, I want to wait until, I'm done with this first trimester or whatever, and things like that. And he's just like I told him I couldn't get an abortion here because they wouldn't do it anymore. I'm too far along or whatever. And I was just like, and then I was just like, oh, I just want to be finished with my first trimester. And he's like, how can you not get an abortion then if you're still in your first trimester? And bullshit like that or whatever. And I was just like, I don't know what to say. Like, I was just so emotional at that moment and stuff like that. And I had to sit back and think, and you know what I had to say to him, you know what, it's done. Like, I had to cut ties. At that moment, that's the moment when I realized, like, this is toxic and this is, I have to get out. Like, even though he wanted to get out anyway, like, I had to get out of in my head. Like, I guess we were both toxic for both of us. Like, he was doing for his own thing or whatever, but it was like I needed him. Like, he built it up for months that, like, I needed him in my life. And then he was just done with me. It was just like, I felt that. But then when I realized that, like, what am I doing? Why am I, like, going and lying and saying that I'm pregnant when I'm not? Like, all of this crazy ass shit. And I was just like, I gotta be done. So I ended up telling him, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll figure out the money. Just goodbye. And I ended up leaving it like that. And I had to cut ties. I had to end it. But it didn't really end from there because that relationship haunted me. It actually still haunts me to this day. But that relationship haunts me. The actions that I do haunt me. Like I still feel like he might have some like ties, you know, over with me. Like he still has like a hold of me. And sometimes I feel like, what if he comes to me today and says, Vanessa, I made a mistake and I miss you and I love you? Like, what would I say? Like, I don't crave that. I don't want that. But I think about that all the time. So, like, that relationship is still haunting me to this day. And I didn't do it the best way, but I decided to just engulf myself in my sex, pretty much. Like, engulf myself in my in other people, try to find something else. And that's what I did. After I broke up with him, I had a couple months left in high school, and I said, you know what, for these couple months, I'm gonna tell everybody that I thought was hot or sexy or I wanted to have sex with in my high school that I wanted to have sex with them. And I started doing that, and I started having sex with all those guys that I wanted to have sex with. And I was surprised that they wanted to have sex with me too. You know, like, I thought like I was ugly to them. I thought I was ugly to them. I thought that they didn't even, I wasn't even on the radar. But that's what I did. And I engulfed myself into sex. And it kind of seeped into college. My sexual type things. But that was pretty much how I kind of got over Brian. I still am fighting that day every day, even though I'm married and have a kid and I'm happy and I'm in love and I love my husband and things like that. It still kind of affects me a little bit. And but I just want to say, if anyone is going through a toxic relationship, or if anyone feels like they are so like in deep with this person and this person's not the best for them, and trust me, you guys know, like you know when you're there, like you make excuses in your head. Like I remember this one song, it was Sweet Nothing by Ellie Goulding, I think it was. And I had to listen to that over and over and over again, because he was literally giving me sweet nothings. He was literally giving me little things that I would just be like, oh, he did this for me, so he loves me. Like I went all out for his birthday. I went all out for Valentine's Day, things like that. And he would just like, oh, I remember one time he was like, oh, I went to CVS and I got you some candy. And I was like, wow, he went to CVS. He didn't have to give me the candy, but he got a candy. It wasn't even like that. He was like, oh, I went to CVS and it was 2 for 1. And so I got one because I wanted candy, but here's the second one type thing. But I would think like, oh my God, he did this for me. Like, he must love me. So I literally had to listen to that song over and over again, because it was so true in my life. He gave me sweet nothings, and I grasped at every little thing that he did that was semi-nice, and said that that's why he loves me. So I hope you guys like this video. I think the next video I'm gonna do is about pretty much after this. Like, I'm gonna do it in chronological order since I've been doing it already. So yeah, the next video is about, you know, after Brian. The aftermath, I guess. So I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell button down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.